I have several questions prepared, and some of them are doctrinal, some of them have to do with philosophy of ministry, church policy, and so I'm going to give them to you in no particular order and just see where this goes. And I've taken down questions that I hear a lot, that I know people are asking, because I think people want to hear this. And so let me start with a really tough one about the charismatic movement. You wrote 20 years ago, Charismatic Chaos, which was a revision of your earlier book, The Charismatics.
Yes.
Both of those books were really hard-hitting. People ask me all the time, has your stance on the charismatic issue softened?
No, and I'll just give you a little bit of history on that. I'll make a general statement and then I'll back up. The charismatic movement is largely the reason the church is in the mess that is in today. In virtually every area where church life is unbiblical, you can attribute it to the charismatic movement. In virtually every area. Bad theology, superficial worship, ego, prosperity gospel, personality elevation, all of that comes out of the charismatic movement. Now, I knew at the beginning that this was a disastrous embracing by the evangelical church. And it happened, by the way, in Van Nuys, California.
Right.
It happened at an Episcopalian church in Van Nuys, California, pastored by a man named Dennis Bennett, who got the baptism of the Holy Spirit, and that leaped out of the contained Pentecostal tradition. The Pentecostal church, with its claim of miracles and healing and signs and wonders, was contained. It never spread to the mainline church. It was always seen as aberrant, its theology aberrant. But when an Episcopalian got the experience, it jumped out of its containment. Then the phenomena started being embraced by Baptists and Dead Church Methodists and Presbyterians and Roman Catholics, and it invaded the church. And then what happened was it demanded to have acceptance. It demanded to have acceptance. It demanded to be embraced. It demanded to be included. And you had very strong leaders coming out and demanding that the evangelical church embrace them. And I knew at the time the deadly character of this, because once you give a place to bad theology, then theology is no longer an issue. Once you corrupt worship, then worship is going to fall to the lowest tolerable level. And on it went. So I wrote the book, The Charismatics, and Zondervan published that. That was back in the 70s, in the late 70s. And you know, the evangelical church pretty much rose up and said, yeah, we see that. And Moody Monthly, remember Moody Monthly magazine, picked up the book and syndicated it in a series of monthly issues of Moody Monthly. They syndicated every chapter in the book, and they had the charismatic cover on the cover of Moody magazine. They were saying, yeah, we're there, this is where we belong. It wasn't too many years after that, the climate dramatically changed, and charismatic movement has gained the ascendancy and become the public face of Christianity. It's the face of TV Christianity. It's primarily the face of radio Christianity. In the Christian bookstore, it is largely the prevailing view is some form of charismatic mysticism or whatever. So it has done a takeover, and it has redefined Christianity in people's mind, and it's an aberrant form of Christianity, of course. So no, my view has not changed. Its theology is bad. It is unbiblical. It is aberrant. It is destructive to people because it promises them what it can't deliver, and then God gets blamed when it doesn't come. It is a very destructive movement.